Brenda jumps in, she can jump into the second part of this. So hi, everybody. It's nice to see all of you together. I think I'm the only one that's seen everybody directly. So we can go around really quick if you want to just introduce yourself, name, title, institution. I think it's simple enough, and then we can go from there. So, Jan.
All right. Hi, everyone. So I'm a new addition to sort of this group. My name is Jay Miletus. I work for Naspa in our Denver office. So I am our training coordinator. So I spend a lot of my time on the road working with colleges and universities, mostly with students, and programs with them. But I have sort of that student affairs background, that love for the Naspa annual conference. So helping Danny out with the first time attendee committee.
I can go next.
Carolyn?
Yeah. My name is Carolyn. I am a graduate student at Lewis and Clark's Student Affairs program up in Portland, Oregon, and I work in the alumni office and student activities office.
Oh, awesome. I know somebody at Lewis and Clark, actually. You know Jack Harris?
Yeah, he came, I think, last year. I think we started around the same time.
Yeah, he was my boss's boss when I was an RA at Western Carolina.
Oh, that's awesome. I'll have to tell him.
Yeah. So I guess I'll go next. I'm Daniel Allen. I'm down here in South Carolina at Western University, so about 10 minutes away from Charlotte. And so it really hasn't been that bad these past couple of weeks. There have been a couple of demonstrations, all been very peaceful, and we're all very proud of our students for that. That's usually the first question I get asked. So I figured I'd hit it before anybody else did. Super excited to be on this committee and working with you all.
Cool.
Great. So
welcome, Brenda. Thank you for you. Yeah.
Ankita Rake. I am the assistant dean. I work in student activities and leadership at Stanford. There's something buzzing in my office. And we just started. We're on the quarter system, and it was a late start to the quarter. So we just finished up with our first week of school and our activities fair. So I'm off to a running start and continuing my marathon.
Only 9 weeks to go, right?
Right.
How is that? That's kind of crazy. A quarter system? So it's every 9 weeks is a class? Is that how that works?
10, every 10 weeks. 10
every
weeks,
10 weeks.
A week of finals, and then some sort of break. So either winter break, spring break, or summer break.
Oh, sounds like my year-round program a long time.
Awesome. And Brenda, you want to introduce yourself or just their name, title, and institution?
Hi, everyone. Can you hear me?
Yeah.
Okay. I'm Brenda Lenardowitz. I'm at Texas State University, and I oversee our student involvement office, typical campus activities, but we also do are responsible for organization conduct, free speech, demonstrations on campus, pretty much campus access things. So a lot of fun stuff and then not so fun stuff with policies and procedures. But so it's a unique office, but we have a lot of fun.
Awesome. Thank you. Great. So, and thank you, because I see that your attention got pulled. At any point, I recognize that you're all on campus. At any point or working, if you need to step away, just let us know. I recorded it so you won't miss anything. But I know that you get called out while you're working. So then mute your camera, let us know, and go and deal with what's going on. But thank you all so much for jumping on the call. I'm really excited to get all of us together and to start working on the first attendee initiatives for the conference for this coming year. We've got a lot of exciting things that are happening. You all can be some of the first to know because the email still has not gone out. But we have confirmed our featured speakers for annual conference this year. So we're pretty excited about that. Don't post anything until an email goes out, which was scheduled to go out a few hours ago, but we're trying to fix some broken links. So Anderson Cooper is actually going to be our opening featured speaker, which everybody's pretty excited about. I think it'll be a lot of fun. It's a really great partnership that we have with another organization, the National Society for Leadership and Success. So we're working with them. They're basically like a speakers bureau. So they're helping us out with Anderson. I'm incredibly excited because I'm a big fan. So I think that's going to be really fun. Chris Mosier is one of our other speakers, and Chris is one of the first and only trans athletes that participated in the Olympics. He also has a student affairs background, which is really cool. So he's very big on athletics and different components. And then the last speaker is Bree Newsom.
Cool.
So she's going to be coming. She's the one that took down the Confederate flag. So she's going to be, I think she might be our closing speaker. I'm not sure the order. I know Anderson first, and then I'm not sure the order of the last speaker. I think she might be our closing speaker. And then we'll have a few other highlighted featured speaker sessions that will be announced later on. We usually do like 6 different featured sessions. So exciting news to see what's coming, and I think it's going to really bump up. Today we opened registration again. So we did our early bird registration over the summer. I think we had like 600, 700 people sign up in that time period, which is pretty exciting because we've never opened up for that long, that early, and we had never had that many people pop in so early. So today registration is open, and housing is open. If you need to book housing, you can start doing that now. So I sent out some information for you all to review and some past things, also just some general updates on where we're at. So to just quickly go over that, so we have the first-time attendee page is live on the conference website. We've seen some traction and people reading, so I wrote our first blog just kind of advertising that this was up, and then we have a few different pieces for people to connect with. So a blog went out to attendees or to Naspa members. The blog went out to Naspa members letting them know that the page was live. And the reason I know that people actually read it is because at the end of the page it said join our Facebook group, and people are joining our Facebook group. So if you haven't joined the Facebook group, feel free to join it. We'll make everybody admins on there so that you can see information that's coming through. Let's see, some general notes from the committee if you all want to review those. And then I included some attachments. So obviously the blog, the website text that we've had in the previous years, evaluation from previous years, 2015 at least, and then what the program book text looks like for first-time attendees. So we have a section in the program book that we can edit where we can include different text. And then the one piece that's fun for us to look at will be the ones working on the content and providing insights on the design is the handout. So the little handout that was given out to first-time attendees, I included a PDF version of that so you all can check it out. But we can kick off any initial questions, insights, comments based on the stuff that was sent out. No worries. Some of the things that I wanted to focus on today and I sent over for us to talk through is a little bit of our committee structure. So as I shared with you all when we did our one-on-one, our conference structure before was pre-conference events. So anything, not necessarily pre-conference sessions, but anything between now and the start of the conference. Our conference events are the things that take place in our post-conference. Recognizing that we are a team of 6, I wanted to talk to you all to see if you think that that's a good structure, if you want to set it up into those 3 areas, or if you think that it might just be easier for all of us to work together on each of those areas, coming up with everything together. And then the other component to structure is the size of the committee. So thinking through the structure. So this committee has grown in strength, so it's been as small as a group as we are. We've also had between 15 and 20 people sit on the committee. And then sometimes we've had, 5 or 6 lead committee members, and then they've had their own subcommittee to work on different areas. So just to get your idea of what you all think that you'd like to do for this year.
I think it probably makes the most sense to just do things as a committee because we've grown, but we're not that big. That's what I would guess. Rather than have people try to find time to pair off, meet up, report back.
Okay. That's for me. Anybody else? Do we thumbs up to work as a committee, or thumbs up? Awesome. Okay, so we'll keep going from there. The one piece I will add, and I think it's helpful for us as we start to go, because there's some things on site that we'll need some help with. So the conference events component, there are lots of events that we put on, and for us to think through if you want to have some on-site volunteers. So at any point you can add what we can just call subcommittee members to this. If you've got local people to you that express interest in what you're doing and they want to help out with something, I'm always happy to add some people to the committee to help out with that, especially if they're going to be going to the conference. We can work with them on that. But I think I'm good with us, in our regular meetings, and we'll, between now and January, I'll say we'll do once a month just to update and see how things are going. We'll each have little homework assignments, like blogs or videos if we want to get any of that stuff created. And then probably after the new year, we'll switch to maybe every 2 weeks to make sure everything's finalized on what we need to get done. That sounds all right. And then the piece I wanted to have some discussion about to get some ideas flowing. So when we talked about in our one-on-ones, we have a lot of feedback over the past few years on what the first-time attendee experience is like, specifically as it's connected to professional levels. So we've had a lot of people tell us, I'm a new professional, I want to learn these XY things. And then a senior level is like, that's great, but I've been to many conferences, so I don't need all of these kinds of things. So if we can have a quick discussion, and I'll take some notes. We can go through NASPA's professional levels, if that's helpful, and then just throw out some ideas for professional level specific engagement, how we can get to them. So we can we'll start our way down and work our way up. So with undergrad students, we don't get a bunch, but we do get some. And I'd love to figure out how to welcome them. A lot of them come to our undergraduate student conference, and some of them do stay. So how can we engage undergrad students?
What has been some of the things we've done in the past? Because that's actually an area I know very little about.
Mm-hmm. Perfect. So I can tell you, so we haven't specifically done things around professional levels, which is what the focus that I want to do around this year. But, we've engagement fund side of things. We always have, we did the flash mob last year. We did the take a chance wall where you could take a little card and it was like a motivation quote or a challenge or even a prize. As far as activities, we do the orientations. We have a networking activity, and then our closing wrap-up activity. That's usually what our structure is during the actual conference. So, the number of undergrads, and for our next meeting or after this, I can send you all and figure out what our demographics are. So you have a breakdown for professional level. I know we don't have a ton of undergrads, but we do have some, and most of them it's their first time attending. So if they're, as well as you're thinking through as we go to professional levels, if there's things that you think would be applicable to everyone, we can also just note that separately.
Hey, Danny, can I throw something in there? One of my initial thoughts is, and I don't know the data on this either, is what are the number of the undergrads that attend for the first time that are versus not enough fellows? Because there is a lot of that NUF specific programming, like the NUF wrap up, the NUF, I believe they have some sort of an orientation piece. So just making sure that, if it's 2 students that are attending that are not enough fellows, like making sure that we're not replicating some pieces. So my initial thought was, is there a student level piece? So it could be incorporating both the undergraduate and then the grad student level. Is that maybe a better use of trying to plan stuff if it's a student level, and then we can move into new, mid, upper, or whatever you want to do, just knowing what those numbers might look like, and some of the other maybe specific programming, because there will be both, I'm assuming, enough programming and then gap programming as well for the grads.
Okay. You don't think it'd be easier to do that as a student thing instead of breaking it down? We can have some student-related things. As you think of ideas, we don't necessarily have a budget, but we haven't necessarily been told no on things. So I just throw things at them, and it usually sticks. So if we think of things that we would want to give students that they could take back to their campus and use, I think some of those things we also include.
I think for the most part, students probably want to feel connected, feel welcome, and have people that they can so feel connected at the conference, and then have like connections that they can take back with them. So I think a lot of it can be like a Facebook group or a Snapchat story. I don't understand Snapchat, but so is something that resonates with them, and something that they can then like use as a way to connect back to the conference and the people they met, and the things that they saw once they leave.
And that might be an interesting place. We have a mentor-mentee program. Last year we tried kind of throwing it out at everyone, and it was a lot, and it was, we had to match students and professionals and all of these people, so maybe it might be, maybe we just focus the mentee component for students, and then anyone who isn't a student can be a mentor.
Yeah, I like that.
I like that too. I think something else, maybe we plan engagement activities and then we just kind of advertise for the group. So for example, like a beginning network session, if we were to do something like a little workshop on the side, then we could say for, targeted for students or first-time attendees to a conference or something like that. That way we have all these ideas, but I don't want to limit ourselves to certain ideas and be like, well, do we need to target it for this group or this group? And why not target it to both? No, I don't know if that made any sense. I hope it did.
No, I agree. I think that's the part that I'm, in my head, I think engagement. I'm like, oh, we'll do something fun and we'll do something professional and we'll do something. I think the feedback we've gotten is figuring out sometimes people want more of a tailored experience, and how do we do that for 3,000 to 4,000 people is an interesting challenge. So an example of a tailored experience that happened 3 years ago now, and I think it continued to happen. So our vice presidents of student affairs didn't necessarily enjoy coming to our orientation. They gave us that feedback. They're like, it's fun and it's nice to meet people, but I'm not getting what I need out of an orientation process as a vice president. So working with, there is a VPSA lounge. So working with other VPSAs who have attended, they created their own orientation process. So now VPSAs can go into the VPSA lounge and have an orientation, whether it's their first time attending the conference or it's their first time attending the conference as a VPSA. So they might be Naspa members from a long time, but it's their first time going in that role and what they should know and how they should handle it. And now they have their own orientation, and it's been really helpful. They've gotten really, really great feedback. And I think that's some of the tailoring that has been helpful. So I think, if we did, I think our orientation is an hour. So 20 minutes, maybe 30 minutes of just general, here's all the things you need to know about Naspa, and then maybe some small group breakouts. So if you are in a specific professional level and want to hear things that are important to your area, come sit over here and we'll go through the program book and you can look at the tracks that are available or different things like that.
Yeah, I like that a lot. I think that was really helpful for somebody like me last year when I sat through the orientation and we got up and we met some people and we started talking about some of the various tracks that you go through, which I thought were cool because being, first time at Naspa, I was like, oh, these things, what is this? This is kind of cool. And so I just went from there.
Danny, what are some of the, it might help me kind of figure out a little bit better too, if you could tell me what are maybe your vision in terms of the categories that you're looking at?
Yes.
Okay. Perfect. All right. So let's say if we do students to cover undergrad, grad, doctoral students, we'll cut that into one. We can do, so not break it down too much, we can do emerging pros. So let's say like new to mid, senior level pros, and then VPSAs. So our senior level professionals, so we've got VPSAs. Senior level professionals can be associate, assistant vice presidents, and director level people. Emerging can be anyone from depending on your campus, let's say program assistant all the way up to an assistant associate director. And then anyone who's a student. That makes sense to everybody.
Are there tweaks to that?
There could be, yeah.
I just asked because, like, okay, by the definition that you just gave, I would be an emerging pro, but I've worked in the field for like 13 years, right? Okay. Like, so I'm kind of like, I don't know if I would identify with someone who just graduated from grad school in this sense. Not to not have conversations, but.
Okay. So we would like a new and are you comfortable with the mid-pro label?
I think that's pretty standard.
Okay. That works for me.
And I think you can look at maybe, because it's not always someone who's a new professional or even a mid-professional, or there's always going to be those people that are on the cusp and they're like, I don't know which one I belong to. And so I think just trying to create some specific bullet points for what could kind of fall within that. So it's not only just on position or maybe years of experience, but also I think what we're trying to highlight is that this is your first time or one of your first times. You know, you're very new to Naspa, right? I mean, that's ultimately just that you're new to Naspa, and so I think it just needs to really be highlighting that that it just needs to be very, I guess, what I'm trying to say is fluid, I guess, in its definition, because different people are going to find themselves in different ways or in different levels.
Definitely. Yeah. And so I just sent the link over to what we use on Naspa for professional levels. So this breaks it down a little bit more, but it does give a little bit of definition as to what those terms mean. But I definitely agree. And, you know, we can let people know, I think there is going to be an overall general umbrella related to first-time attendee experience. Anyone can come to any of these things. But if you're really interested in learning, so let's say you are a mid-level professional who's interested in becoming senior level. So you are going from a position where you aren't supervising staff and you are going to supervise staff. So part of what we can do is look through the program book and say, here's some sessions that would be interesting to you as someone who's looking to move from one professional level to the other. Or if you're an undergraduate student and you're interested in, you know, picking grad schools, I think we usually have some sessions on like how to figure that out. So we can look at some of those areas too. Okay, so we're good with student, NEPRO, mid-level, senior level, VPSA, understanding that it's going to be a little bit more fluid. The senior level one is also a little tough for some people because of an associate vice president, assistant vice president, and then a director lumping them in. So, you know, we'll let people kind of figure out where they're at. I think this also might just be more of an internal thing for us, that we know that these are our categories and these are some of the programming areas that we want to focus on. But when we put it out there, be like, wherever you think you fit in and whatever you want to learn, here's a space for it.
I think that works.
Cool. Works for me. One of the other things that pops into my head, so as we go through this, so it's something that would be interesting for you all to do, depending on where you're at in your professional career, is to write some blogs. So we usually have some blogs that we write, and I think I included some of the links to the old ones. And if you open the website text, all of the links to last year's blogs should be on there. We usually do a welcome one, so I took care of the welcome one. There's one that will highlight the city that we're going to be in, so people know more about the city and the local campuses. There's one that is usually around a what to pack or how to prepare for a conference. And these have been done, so this is the other piece for us to think through, they've been done as blogs solely. They've been done as videos. They've been a mix of like, okay, week one, we released a blog and then a video, and then we did a Twitter chat. So different things like that for us to think through of kind of what we want to get out there and how you want to get information to people. The one piece I will do this year more than we did last year is whatever we link, we will add to the Facebook group, because more people read it on the Facebook group. It was very rare that people would click into the website. So as long as whatever we do, we share in the Facebook group or we share via email, people are more likely to find on the website.
I think the mix sounds good. Do you want us to like say which ones we want to do right now, like volunteer? Is that what you're asking?
We can. Yeah, I mean, I think so. Is anyone able to? And I think it helped in some of the past few years for the groups that wanted to make videos. They had access to the technology to make videos. Like they either worked with a department that could videotape it or they could. So if anyone wants to take on making some videos, or if you rather do some blogs, I'm all for it. If you want to say that now, we can, and then we can look at topics that you might want to cover.
I would be interested in doing in us doing both. I would personally rather write a blog than be in a video.
Okay.
Yeah, I'm right there with you. I would prefer to write something. Just
Okay.
Looking at me and this awful glare the fluorescent light is shining off of my forehead is already kind of awkward. So, I just it's a little more comfortable to me to write something.
Okay.
And I missed the introduction, so I apologize. Is anyone else in Texas other than me? In the group?
I don't think so. I think you're a rep.
I mean, because I don't necessarily, we have kind of a marketing area. We're just, of course, swamped. So I don't know if I'm like, hey, can you, edit this video I'm trying to create for the subcommittee I'm on, if they'd be like, oh yeah, that's great. But I think there are definitely some videos. San Antonio's right up the road, where I could kind of create some videos or take something that could easily, even if it's on the GoPro, we have a GoPro that could possibly be uploaded for to talk about the site and the location and just different fun activities that are in the area.
Okay. And that would be great. If you could get the footage and send that, we could work on the edit. So we have people in-house who could work on the edits and putting stuff together. I'm a big fan of videos that feel more organic. Mm-hmm. Especially in kind of pieces like this. So I don't need like a super professional video. I want something that's fun that people are like, even if it's the videos I've enjoyed the most are like, I'm going to take you on a tour. Here's me on my phone. And like, here's some of the things that you'll see. And I think that's helpful. If you could do that, it would be great.
Yeah, I can work on something like that. I mean, like I said, I've been to San Antonio many times and it's right down the road. And so I'm actually at a conference there next weekend. So I could try to, on the Riverwalk, at one of the conference hotels. So I could at least try to get some different videos or different pictures of different things.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, that'd be great. If you just pictures, videos of random things, we can always splice that together. I think that'd be helpful. We also have, we're part of a larger conference engagement committee. They will also have some engagement videos. They'll also have some blogs that are going to be going out. I'll ask them for the schedule of what that is so you all can see what's coming out in the next few months. Mm-hmm. But I think it would be helpful for it to also have, because that's just going to be like, oh, the conference, and these are all of the things. But it'd be cool to be like, as a first-time attendee or first-time attending San Antonio, here's some really cool things for you to know about the city. Okay. One of the things that we try and do as a committee is really highlight how awesome the city is so people know when they're coming.
And Brenda, I could help you with that. I'm not physically there, but I used to live in San Antonio for 5 years, so.
Okay, great.
I could, whatever helps.
You can send me some of your favorite things about San Antonio.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, that'd be awesome. Carolyn, would you be up for a video or a blog?
Yeah, I can absolutely do a blog. I was also thinking, I was wondering if we could do a video in preparation, like for next year. So if I was my first time attending, I could like take a video of myself getting ready and packing my bag and like then going through the conference. So that could be shown in like the 2018 preparation. This was my experience and this is how I planned. And so like here was my journey through NASPA as my first time attending. I don't know what people think about it.
Yeah, I think that would actually be really good if we could somehow like chronicle your all's experience over the next few months getting ready. I think that'd be really cool.
Cool.
You know, pretend to be first time attendees again.
Yeah.
I think we have some grads this year too that are going for the first time. We could also ask them if one of them would want to write a blog or something about, you know, the grad experience for, you know, what they're feeling or maybe what they're hoping to get out of the conference their first time.
Yeah, I'm all for, if you have people, but like you said, if you have people that are first time attendees that want to write a blog and want to share something, honestly, they could even share a Facebook Live video or something. We'll give them access to that experience. I think we've got lots of different places. So we're big in Facebook, Twitter, and Instagram. So we have places that we could have access to them if they wanted to take it over, if they wanted to, you know, we've done Twitter chats where we take over and ask the tweet. I think those are all really great places to be in, and I'm always happy to. It's a blog. It's just a simple link to add to a page that will hopefully help somebody else experience. Okay. Okay, so I think we're good with pre-conference stuff. We traditionally send out, I think, between January and March, 2 targeted emails for first-time attendees. And then we get included in some just general conference attendee messaging. So it'll be on us once they get the full schedule, or once they get the full schedule, I'll let you all know so we have a timeline. I think it's also helpful for us to think through timeline of when we want to send stuff. Then I can actually tell them instead of them telling me when we have some stuff to do. So I don't know if anybody would be interested. So our first one went out in September. If anyone is interested in writing something in October, it could be geared towards Careers in Student Affairs Month. It could be geared towards, you know, what it's like being a professional going to a conference, what student affairs work looks like when you're on a conference, or different things like that.
I could possibly write a blog about my was it Candid Conversation when you I did that with a VPSA when we kind of connected with that. So then I could write something about that, about, you know, taking advantage of these extras, you know, whether it's the mentor mentee or you know, connecting with colleagues or connecting with people that you're aspiring to be or become or something like that.
So I think that'd be really great if you can mention the Candid Conversations and obviously have people sign up for that. Hopefully I can get our mentor-mentee sign up done before. So if we plan for this blog towards the end of the mid-month, end of the month, I can get the sign-up process done. And then at the end of it, we can be like, if you're interested in Candid Conversations, sign up here. If you are a undergrad, grad, or doc student who would like a conference mentor, here, sign up. I think that'd be awesome.
Okay.
So let's shoot for that. The 21st. Do you think you could have it done and made post the following week?
Let's hope.
Okay. So I'll put that down, and then we'll see if we need to shift. We can. We got plenty of time.
I mean, you're not asking for, you know, 3 pages in APA style, so I'm sure it'll be fine.
No. That would not be a very widely read blog if you had to do citations. I think, and for all of you to think through as you're thinking of writing a blog, when they're very personable, they get the most feedback. People appreciate when it's someone's story and when they're speaking in their own voice versus someone trying to tell them something, or just like this is my conference experience. It was great. So to think here about that. Anybody up for something in November? I think if we are able to do a video, I'd probably shoot that for like January, February. That way we get some excitement. But if we do November or October, November, December, January, I mean, 4 of you all could write a blog, and then in February we could post the video.
I like that. I think that kind of builds up to the video. That's kind of cool.
Mm-hmm. So Danny, you think you'd be up for a November blog?
Yeah, sure. I'd be more than happy to.
Any themes we think we want to think about in November? Anything going on campus or things we want to look at?
I could do something really sappy with like Thanksgiving or something. Hey, be thankful for this in student affairs, mentors, and the networking connections you get at Naspa kind of thing. I don't know. I'm just throwing stuff here.
Yeah, we can do a reflection piece on things on where you're at. Because last year you said was your first conference.
Yeah.
So maybe you can reflect on that, on your first conference experience and what it's like now being on the committee and the things that you're thankful for, you know, mashed potatoes and things that are exciting.
Yeah, that would be fun. Okay. I'll get started.
Okay. Perfect. Anyone want to take Karen and Kita December or January? And Kita December?
Yeah, I can do January. I'll be starting my last semester of grad school, so I wonder if I could.
Yay!
I wonder if that could be something I talk about in my blog, and then like gearing up towards NASPA and TPE.
Yeah, I think it'd be awesome to mention TPE in that process. Would be really great, especially if you're. Are you going to be looking at TPE for that year as well?
Mm-hmm.
Oh, okay, we can talk about that. I went through it as well. So.
I'm looking forward to that.
But I think that actually would be really good tie-in for a lot of people as they're finishing up their semester. I think I started looking at annual conference at some point in January of my last semester so that I could go to placements. I think that'd be helpful.
Cool.
And then in Kia, you can something on closing out the year, something on celebrating traditions, something on whatever you think would work in December. I obviously know it's not an end of semester kind of thing since you're in the quarter system. It's always quirky when everybody's like, yay, the semester's over. And you're like, no. Yeah. I think you're muted.
I said the quarter's over too, so.
Oh, okay, perfect. So it matches up. That's good.
Okay, we can do that. Yeah. I
so
actually also have to run. But I wanted to hear the good topic for that, so that works for me. Was there anything else that? And sorry to make this about me.
No, it's okay. No, I think for me right now, this is good. We'll get through some of this stuff, and then we can start. Once I have a little bit more information about what's going to be happening on site, we can start thinking about the on-site events. Okay. But having the next few months planned out is perfect.
Thank you. Thank you, everyone. Have a good rest of the day.
Thank you. Okay, so cool. So we've got the year planned out. Isn't it crazy that it's already February and we have a video launching? Okay, so Brenda will take care of October. We've got Daniel in November, and Keita in December, Carol in January, video in February. March is the conference. Okay, anything else you all think would be good for us to highlight as we learn more about what's happening at the conference and any other exciting things? We can share that with attendees. Thinking through the Facebook page, I think how we engage with people on that. So if you haven't joined the page, join the page. You can always introduce yourself on there. It might be interesting to do like a Q&A on there one day maybe and have people comment, and we can answer some questions if people are joining on there.
Yeah, I like that. I think maybe we could like take shifts one day or something like throughout the month. Be like, hey, ask a FTA committee person what it's like to be at NASPA or something like that. It can be through Twitter or Facebook or, you know, even something like this, even like a little face-to-face meeting. I think it'd be kind of cool if, you know, I saw Brenda and I was talking with her over like Skype or something like that. And then I was like, hey, I know you. I spoke with you over the computer, but hey, I know somebody here. That's really cool. So I don't know, maybe like
and we can
over convo or something like that.
Yeah, we could totally host a few Zoom chats. So this technology we have, we can get up to 50 people on camera. So we could schedule a few chats, you know, maybe 1 or 2 this part of the year and then another 1 or 2 before annual conference. I think I agree. It's much better this kind of communication that we can do. So we can do like a little presentation on where we're at up until a certain point and then open it up for some Q&A.
Yeah, that sounds perfect. I like that a lot. Makes it feel more human, I guess is the best way to put it. Because, you know, if you put it on Facebook, is like, am I responding to a robot or a human? You don't really know.
Yeah. Okay. Anything else you often think of? And again, as we go through this, if you have ideas, if you see stuff that's happening on campus, if you go to conferences and like, oh, this is really cool, especially if you're going to events, like Brenda, I know you're going to something soon, look at what they're doing for first-time attendees. Like really think through or ask people like, hey, how are you, you know, connecting with first-time attendees? I'm on this committee and I would love to know some of the things that you're doing. Or one of the things I just went to a conference and they don't talk about best practices. They talk about next practices. And they're like, it's not the best practices, because best practices are traditions and they're things that they're like, what's the next thing? And I'm like, that's cool. I want this year to be next practices for first-time attendee stuff. So what are we doing that's innovative and a little bit different, really engaging people? So like Zoom chat, I think that's a really easy next practice.
And those Zoom chats could easily be broken up by that professional level piece that we were talking about earlier. So circling back to there, one of my also thoughts, things that I just know from marketing from some other events, I'm not sure how this fits into the big sort of NASPA annual marketing, but countdowns or tips or making sure that we're at least reblogging the NASPA blog into the first time attendee page, whatever is going to be relevant there. So I don't know if that's one of those things that we delegate out, or we figure like, you know, do we curate something on every day, every 10 days, so, you know, 80, 70, 60, so on and so forth, fun pictures, whatever, or is it someone every week going in on Friday and making sure that we look at what's in Notes and Coffee and posting it on the first time attendee page? Things like that just might be helpful as well. That way we don't necessarily need to reinvent the wheel all the time, but we might be able just to repurpose and curate some of that content again, just to get some of that traffic up. So making sure that we have an active Facebook page, I feel, is one of the big pieces, because having a page with 20 members is great, but you know, if we can get to the 1,500 that are first-time attendees, whatever it is, that would be helpful.
Yeah, no, that's great. And Jim, we can work on that, knowing what the marketing timeline is. So Jam and I can take care of creating a first-time attendee marketing timeline, and then share that with you all, and then we can edit as needed based on the work that we're doing. Cool. All right, well, I'm excited. I think it's going to be a lot of fun. We'll figure out what our matching outfits will look like once we're at the conference, obviously. Hopefully you won't have to wear what we wear with our bright neon polos, which Jam is nicely showing off for us. But we'll get all of this figured out, and then we'll move forward.
Sounds awesome.
Well, thank you all so much. Enjoy the 12 minutes back in your day. And I'll send out some follow-up notes with the recording so that we have this for anything that you might need later.
Awesome.
Okay, sounds great.
All right. All right, everybody. Have a good day.
Have a good one.